Hey everyone, this is Warren Howe. We are back in another week of Looms, video sharing. So today we're going to talk about finding value and what should our approach be, right, in seeking alpha. Yep. Um, so I recently just gave a presentation to the Discord live, right? So for those of you that are interested in joining the private Discord group, let me know, right? Or let the management know, and they'll accommodate you. Yep. So I want to read off a quote by Peter Thiel. Yep, from the 0 to 1 book. Yeah, the single most powerful pattern I have noticed is that successful people find value in unexpected places. Yep. And they do this by thinking about business from first principles instead of formulas. Now, this simple quote tells a lot of things. Yep. Number one is the single most powerful pattern. Investing doesn't have to be hard. Yep. Investing is not hard if we really understand the mechanics of it, if we understand the game. My point is, all we have to do is just literally stick onto a few strategies or maybe even one strategy to be finding value. Yep. So in our, in our investing life, right, especially me, right, I manage funds, I have my own portfolios to manage, and I'm actually preaching what I practice. We constantly want to seek alpha. Right, so what is seeking alpha? Seeking alpha is basically beating the market, right? Having a better expected return. Your actual returns are actually beating the expected return, and that difference, that surplus, is actually the alpha, right? In our, how are we going to hedge our portfolios to seek alpha? How are we going to, make our investments a better the total overall portfolio return, right? How is that beating the market in a 1 year time frame, 6 months time frame, 2 years time frame, 3 years time frame, right? So that surplus is actually, the alpha, right? We always want to seek alpha, and by seeking alpha, it means by finding value in, especially in the recent turn of events, right? The electricity crisis, the power crunch, right? So I'll be talking about that in our next video. But all I want to say right now is that, there is value everywhere. For an example, right? I found value and I, got off a profitable trade by trading ONG sectors, right, in the US. Now, that is actually a mixture of thematic play, technical analysis, and a little bit of fundamentals, right? My point is, I never thought that, I would never be investing long-term on ONG sectors, but there is value in everything that we see. There's value in growth companies. There's value in value companies, obviously. There's value in even dividend stocks, right? So to point out here is that the most powerful pattern I have noticed is that successful people find value in unexpected places is everywhere that people are not seeing right now. Where Wall Street is not seeing, where big institutions are not seeing. Yep. We just want to be grabbing onto some value, right? Based on the perception of, and it has to have momentum. It has to have, a catalyst for it to go up. Right, it has to be, whether or not the stock price is a laggard to commodities prices. Right, that's the huge game that I actually leveraged and capitalized on, which I'll be talking more in the next session, the next video. Yeah, and another thing is to take note. Right, looking at it as a business rather than business principles rather than formulas, it entirely means that all we got to do is just focus on the business model, focus on the core, right? Focus on that growth, focus on what is the management actually leading the company versus PE ratios, PS ratios, discounted cash flows. Because sometimes, mostly all the time, the numbers don't paint the story, right? So Peter Thiel, he was saying that, he was the value of an asset. So this is what Warren Buffett said, right? Before Peter Thiel. The value of an asset is the cash flows it can bring, right? the future cash flows brought back to today's value, right? So the point is, if before you want to buy this particular asset or stock, you want to be working out the cash flows it can bring. Now, what Peter Thiel said is that you can't see, right, PayPal's cash flows because tech companies that has huge growth, they are loss making, right? SG&E is high, investment is high, still a young company, so it will take time for the cash flows to come in, right? But he was so accurate in a way that like right now PayPal is cash flow positive and more, yeah. But he invested in PayPal anyway because he believed in the product market fit. He believed in the product, right? Innovating, it's actually it's a huge product market fit, right? My point is all of those, those are the factors that we should focus on qualitative wise rather than the numbers, right? Because this paints a whole story. Now, I hope you got some value out of this today. If you're interested to join a private Discord group, let the management know, let us know, let the team know, then we'll arrange for that, right? So I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.